This is Twit.
So the future of Windows is looking a little brighter. What's happening there?
Well, an upcoming Windows 8.1 update might have new integration between the Metro-style UI and the conventional interface. Leaked screenshots appeared on the Russian website WZOR.net. I just pronounce it Wizor, which appear to show the ability to launch Metro apps without having to switch to the start screen. Not just that, but the taskbar and navigation properties window shows a new setting called Show Store Apps on the taskbar. Now, Microsoft is reportedly working on a way to run Windows Store apps directly in the desktop, but probably not until Windows 9 comes out, which is supposed to be 2015 at the earliest. And who else to help us make some sense of this but Mary Jo Foley, who specializes in Microsoft-related news, writes for All About Microsoft, and of course, is the host of our very own Windows Weekly here on the Twit Network. Hello, Mary Jo.
Hello, Sarah.
Well, I guess my first question is, how much stock do you put in these leaked screenshots on WZOR.net?
I was wondering how you pronounce that. I'm glad you handled that. I put a lot of stock in them because this guy, this known Russian leaker, however you pronounce his name, has been pretty good with leaks in the past. And he hinted just a couple weeks ago that he was going to get his hands on a first leak build of Windows 8.1 Update 1. And I think he has got those bits now. It looks like it.
Well, we are expecting to hear more, a lot more in April about what's going to come in Windows 8.1 Update 1. Now, we know that there have been folks that have been, a little bit frustrated with the vast differences between Metro interface and regular desktop interface. Does it make sense for Microsoft to, if a change is going to come anyway, to make sure that we're not waiting until 2015 to see something like that?
Yeah, I think it does. What's going to be interesting to watch is how Microsoft does this, like how gradually or how quickly they do it. We've been getting a lot of different tips about when they're going to actually add back something like a start menu to Windows 8. Paul Thurrott and I both have been getting tips on this. Paul also recently had a tip about Microsoft working on allowing these floating windows that would have Metro-style apps in them that would be on your desktop. And all of these changes are supposedly happening because there are a lot of people who want to use Windows 8 desktop mode, especially people who are trying to transition over from operating systems like Windows XP or Windows 7. That's just a lot more familiar to them. So Microsoft's idea is to kind of bridge this, make that operating system more familiar and easier to navigate too with keyboard and mouse than it is right now.
Mary Jo, Paul Thurrott and you both reported that the Windows 9 kind of moniker is being rushed to next year because Windows 8 was seen as something of a disappointment and a failure, sort of a kind of Windows Vista type of thing. Do you agree with that? Has Windows 8 been a colossal fiasco for Microsoft?
I wouldn't call it a colossal fiasco, but I would say sales have definitely not gone probably the way they had hoped and planned. And I keep coming back to the idea that the reason for this is Windows 8 was designed to be a touch-first operating system, but there's still not a sweeping prevalence of touch hardware out there. So when you try to use Windows 8 on an existing PC, a desktop PC, a laptop, it's especially one without touch, it's just not built for that, really. I mean, you can do it, obviously, and people are doing it, but it's a touch-first operating system, and if you don't have touch-first hardware, it's not the best experience.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Mary Jo. And you can find Mary Jo at Mary Jo Foley on Twitter and right here on Twit. Thanks again for joining us.
You're very welcome. Thanks.